was hurt during the warm-up. He collided with one of his teammates, fell on his tailbone, and that's the reason that he is not starting tonight's hockey game.
All right, thank you, Gary. So that is Pierre Amel, a 28-year-old. Used to play with the Trail Smoke Eaters out of the Western International Hockey League. That was the last amateur team he'd ever played for. And this game is underway. The Jets with Markle, Christian, and Lukowicz. And the Oilers with Stan Weir, Dave Hunter, and Kurt Brackenbury play whistle down only 7 seconds into this hockey game, and they'll face off somewhere in the center ice area, Gary.
There's a penalty right off the bat.
Looks like Pat Price.
Didn't take very long.
An elbow from Pat Price.
Well, right off the bat from the face-off against Lukowicz. So the Oilers, they have their work cut out for them right in the first minute of play.
Weir, Hunter, Lee Vogelin, and Doug Hicks for the Oilers on this penalty-killing situation as Dave Babbage shot it in. The Oilers clear it out. On the boards, that's Christian and Stan Weir pushing and shoving. Back to Babbage now. Markle along the boards as Hunter forces the Jets back in behind their net. They start up ahead. The pass goes beyond. Number 12, Morris Lukowicz, deep into the Oilers zone. Mio out of the net, off the boards. He plays it. Babbage takes it outside the Oiler line. Lost the puck. Here is Dave Hunter. Lee Vogelin cruising over the other side as Hunter shoots it wide. And it comes off the boards back down into Oiler territory. There is Doug Hicks. And he merely clears it. 1:22 left in Price's penalty. Back goes Hunter. Just about got to it as Amel cleared it away. Babbage was slow coming back. And now on the boards, they come up with it. The Jets having all kinds of difficulty getting it out of their zone. And this is a power play. B.J. McDonald has the puck back to Doug Hicks. And he failed to keep it in. They play it back. Lee Vogelin whipping it right back up. And an offside. They'll face off back inside Oiler territory.
Well, it's been a very frustrating year for Peter Sullivan. Hasn't played much this year, and only 1 goal and 10 assists. You know, it's only his 4th game since December the 20th. But the last game against Pittsburgh, he did contribute 2 assists.
And some talk that the Jets are looking around, doing a little shopping, maybe unload Peter Sullivan. Of course, he signed that empty contract when the Jets entered the National Hockey League 2 years ago. Well, a year and a half ago. And with only a minute or so expired in this period, the Jets still have trouble holding on to that puck as Blair McDonald breaks it up outside the Winnipeg line. First of all, it's stolen it from Norman DuPont. Now Christian lost it at the Oiler line, and they clear it again.
Well, that's one of the problems that the Jets have had this year is coming out of their own zone when they have the power play. They just can't make that good pass to set the wingers free.
Couple of good moves, lead pass, walking in the shot, Eddie Mayo off Norm DuPont, the former Montreal Canadiens property. And that's the first, real offensive chance the Jets have had.
Well, that time the Jets certainly executed the pass up the middle to DuPont. He was left all alone, lets the slap shot go. Mayo has good position, cutting down that angle, hangs on for the save.
Only the second time this year these clubs have met. Oilers won the first time 4-2 way back November 7th in Winnipeg. And Blair McDonald, having come back off that injury, has been playing well, averaging close to a point a game. Glenn Sather now has Mark Messier facing off deep in his own zone. Won the face-off against Anders Steen, a Swedish player. Now Risto Siltanen drags it back in behind his net. Being watched closely up deep was Anders Steen. The pass now over on this side is Mark Messier. Crosses the red line. Has trouble controlling it. Babbage takes him to the boards. Puck comes back to Steen, and he turns. Anders Steen, 6'1", 204 points. Last year, leading scorer in the Swedish Elite Division. Lost the puck. Penalties expired. And back to center ice, Stan Weir. Stan Weir playing it over to Price, who's in the corner. Babbage rubs Price to the boards. Now he turns around, muscles it up a bit, got the puck back, and it's cleared to center again. Kevin Lowe for Paul Coffey. We are scoreless if you just joined us. Early moments of this first period. Paul Coffey kept it into the left point, plays it for Gretzky and behind the Winnipeg net, checked by Barry Long. And it's Fred Curry to Callaghan, 1-0.
Gretzky, Callaghan, and Curry continue to have a heyday, but what a setup to Callaghan, and he wastes no time putting it in the high corner. But that's something that the Jets have talked about before the game. They have to stop this line. And Callaghan on a good feed from Curry. No mistake.
Wayne Gretzky got the first assist, 2:43, the time of that goal. And the Oilers get on the scoreboard first. At center, the Jets lose it. Coffey brings it in. Callaghan has it. Brett Callaghan now working to the outside. Right in front. Gretzky set himself up. Now here's Curry jamming for the side of the net. And down is Pierre Hamel. You're watching the Edmonton Oilers and Winnipeg Jets. Face-off inside Winnipeg territory. Came to Kevin Lowe off a skate back to center. Yari Curry there. Played it up. Jets have possession in the center ice area. Trying to come in over the line, and now with it, Dudley, number 99 for the Jets, as play is whistled out offside.
Well, I guess Rick Dudley changing his number to 99. Perhaps some of Gretzky's move will rub off on him. But there's the feed to Callaghan from Curry. And in the month of January, in which Callaghan played 14 games, he picked up 12 goals and 16 assists for 28 points. So he's continuing that scoring pace of his.
That line has been just phenomenal, as you pointed out, Gary. Pat Price being watched by Peter Sullivan up deep. Pass for Anderson. Now here's Blair McDonald. Mark Messier centering this line. Puck goes into the corner. ML clearing it up along the boards. B.J. McDonald plays it right back in behind the Winnipeg net. Barry Long is there. Up for checking Messier and Glenn Anderson. And having to turn Rick Mulhern. Playing it for Barry Long. He almost handed it to Pat Price. Kept in by Anderson. He just sweeped it back in around behind the net. McDonald up to Mark Messier. And he tipped it away. Lost it to Peter Sullivan, who now stands in behind his net. 1-0 Oilers. 16:02 left in the first period. A goal moments ago by Brett Callaghan. Jets shot it in. Up looking for it was Tim Trimper, former Chicago Blackhawk. Now the Oilers again bring it out. Anderson takes the pass. Here is Anderson. Tried to play it around Barry Long in behind the net. Anderson just sets it there. McDonald centered it. No one there for the Oilers. This is Sullivan. Now Barry Long. He's been around Major League Hockey a few years out of Red Deer. Still spent some time there in the offseason. There's a pass too far. Morris Lukowich couldn't hang on to it. The Jets have to get back on side. David Babbage, his shot, and Mio the pad save on the first round pick. Puck rolls back to center ice. Barry Lake takes a return pass from Babbage, watched by Stan Weir. Dave Hunter also looking for that puck. Markle chasing it back. Jets in behind their net. They've spent quite a bit of time there in that first period. That is Dave Hunter lost it then. John Markle played it up the center. Christian, a rink-wide pass. Lukowich knocked down by Risto Silverman cleanly. The fans enjoy that. As the puck came up, Markle trying to feed it back. Gave it away to Stan Weir. Watched by Christian. Now the left wing pass. Dave Hunter works his way into the center. Has Dave Lumley with a pass for Lumley. Behind him. Christian lost it. Weir to Lumley. Now here's a Hunter's shot. And Hamel got a glove on it. The Jets. Christian. Former U.S. Olympic star. Score! 1-1.
And Dave Christian, who Bill Sutherland said is their most valuable player. Game in and game out, this guy will give you an effort. But talk about a good wrist shot and beat Mio cleanly to the stick side. Just gets in there about 40 feet out and lets it fly. But that's the type of shot, since Christian was out quite a ways, that's the type of shot that your goaltender should make the save on.
Dave Christian, University of North Dakota product. Markle and Hamel getting the assist, 5:36 the time. So it is 1-1. Rick Dudley back to the blue line. Right around and behind the Oiler net. They toss it around. Now they jam for it. Came to the side of the Oiler goal as it was played off by Bonus. But Gretzky, the pass up to Yari Curry. Brett Callaghan streaking on the left wing side. Back to Curry. Quick shot. And that went high and wide. Kevin Lowe kept it in. Just rolled it up along the boards. The Jets bring it back up to center. Rick Bonus played it wide of the Oiler net. Now Dudley chased in after it. Ran into Curry there. The puck up into the stands. This is NHL Hockey live from the Northlands Coliseum. back live at the Northlands Coliseum off the face-off. Oilers in around their net area. Paul Coffey got the puck up to center ice. That is Curry. Wheeling in, stops. Callaghan picks it up now, hits top of the circle, came across. Curry was out of, at least off balance, couldn't do anything with it. Here's Callaghan again. Closing in, trying to find Curry. Oh, quick shot. It just went wide as the Oilers, both Callaghan and Curry, could have gotten the shot away on that occasion. Dudley drags it in, flips it back. LeCure knocked off the puck by Paul Coffey. Now Kevin Lowe plays it back. Very long. Kept it in, then lost it to Gretzky. He gave it away. Walking, quick shot. Lily Lindstrom gave Eddie Neal a start.
Well, it's not very often you'll see Gretzky give the puck away, but he did in his own zone, and Lindstrom intercepts. Now watch Mio come out to challenge. And he just gets right in front of that shot and makes a big save for the Oilers. But the strategy of the Jets tonight, they got LeCure's line of Dudley and Bonus playing against Gretzky. So far, it's been Gretzky's line that has been in command.
Anders Steen facing off against Messier. He won the face-off. Pat Price behind the net. Both clubs with 4 shots on goal. 1-1 tie. Glenn Anderson was checked outside the Winnipeg line, picked up, carried in by McDonald. Anderson hit the outside of the post. Right around to the other side. Fogelin up deep, keeping it in. That is Mulhern and Blair McDonald trying to get it out. McDonald pops it loose, comes back. Anderson shot. The save, loose puck. Blair McDonald scores.
From the point by Anderson. Remember when Fogelin went in there to forecheck, Anderson picked up his spot. He covered up for him on the point. But look at that rebound. And the Jets defenseman just skated by the puck. Actually, it was Jeffrey on. And that allowed McDonald just to come right in there and pick up the rebound. And he makes no mistake. Look at Messier trying to get out of the way there so it wouldn't hit him and deflect wide.
McDonald from Anderson and Fogelin, 7:33 the time. Winnipeg Jets get it back in Oiler territory. Lukowicz ran into Risto Silva in there. Play halted.
Well, you remember that when Sultan had taken Lukowicz out the first time they were on the ice, and so it was just a retaliation.
Right.
Now, Lukowicz is a tough customer. He won't back down from anybody. And here's the hit. Lukowicz against Siltanen. All right, Anderson covering up on the play, but watch the middle of your screen how the Jet player skates away from the rebound and just allows McDonald to come right in there. It was number 15, Mulhern, that then not Jeffrey on that play, and McDonald had an easy time of it.
Well, Dave Hunter, as we mentioned in the past, pretty good hockey family, has a couple of younger brothers. Dale that's in with the Quebec Nordic now, excellent face-off man. Younger brother yet that's playing down in Brantford in the OHA. David says perhaps he is the best hockey player in the Hunter family. This time will tell. At center, Weir was pushed off the puck. This is Doug Hicks waiting for the Oilers to get onside. Silton in a blast. Amell got a piece of it. It bounces high and then towards the outside post, but then Pierre Amell saw it covered up. Post goal.
That was another guy, Silton of the Oilers, that was brought into the conversation. We can't let Silton take his shots on the net. He possesses a great accurate shot, and also it's a heavy shot, very difficult to handle. Hamel had trouble on that one, but then was able to cover up.
Face-off coming up to Hamel's right. Markle against Weir. Babbage got it up along the boards. Markle is there, working against Stan Weir for possession. Dave Hunter has it now. Hunter trying to stick handle. Left Don Spring looking out. There's a shot. Amell, the initial save, rebound. Brackenbury looking for the hole. And it goes to Lukowicz along the board. Dave Babbage now with Hunter breaking it up. Now Siltanen. Watched by Christian. Up for Hunter, too far. It goes deep into Winnipeg territory. We're trying to get to it. Babbage is there, icing Oilers.
Well, so far the Oilers have had more hits in the first 9 minutes than they did in the whole Chicago game. And that's something that Sather, he was certain that they would do, or they better not come back in the dressing room. You're looking at Dave Babbage, the first-round pick of the Jets in 1980. The most outstanding defenseman in the Western Junior Hockey League. Just a tremendous athlete. Former teammate Bill Sutherland.
Yeah, he goes way back with John Ferguson, too. They were teammates with the old Cleveland Barons years ago in the American Hockey League. Now running this Jets team. Paul Coffey playing it across to Kevin Lowe. He was being watched by Tripper. That is Dave Lumley going in after it. In behind the net, in front of Gallagher, loose puck. Eggman is there chopping at it, knocked down from behind, and the Jets turn. Oilers another close chance. That was their ninth shot. Now stick handling in, Tripper. Lowe banking it off the boards. Callaghan now, Matty Hagman on that side. Hagman stopping. Tried to get it back to the line, intercepted by the Jets. Near breakaway, but Tripper just didn't have enough speed. Now taken out of the play, and the Oilers again come up with the puck. Callaghan on the boards, hit from behind by Tripper. Kevin Lowe for Coffey, flipping it up for Blair McDonald. Now Mark Messier hustling in on the right side. His shot was tipped in behind the net. Got it out in front, back at the blue line. Fogelin kept it in. Good effort by Lee Fogelin to keep that puck in Winnipeg territory. McDonald trying to center it. That went off the leg of Peter Sullivan. And still low in deep Winnipeg territory. Messier in the corner. Back to McDonald, his shot. And that went off the leg in front. The leg of Don Spring, former U of A product.
And he's without a stick right now.
And they tie it up. This is NHL Friday Night Hockey. Glenn Sather, Billy Harris with the headsets on. And they've done a pretty respectable job with this hockey team. Face-off, Messier got the drop, back to Lee Fogelin into the corner. Messier to Blair McDonald, he was checked. Now Lukowich in behind his net. Watched by Anderson of Blair McDonald. Morris Lukowich. Got the puck up ahead, off the skate of Glenn Anderson. Pat Price digging for it against John Markle, who got the puck. Markle now chases it over to the board area. Anderson chopping it up. Messier kicks it back onto his stick blade. Christian was trying to get possession of it, but here is Messier. Trying to work around Barry Legg. Mark Messier, backhand shot. And Barry Long sprawling along the ice, just played it in behind the net. Now back on his feet, feeds it up for Lukowich too far. Behind the Oiler net, Price. Lost to Lukowich, pass came back. Markle couldn't get it. There's a try by Barry Legg, and that's off the stick of B.J. McDonald. Now Fogelin fires it up for McDonald, too far. Markle played it off the boards, then was hit by McDonald. Price to Glenn Anderson, 8:34 left in the first period, 2-1 Oilers. ML out of the net. That is Mulhern getting the pass up ahead, out to center, chugging in is Rick Dudley, cuts over to the right side. Ran into Callaghan, lost the puck to Hicks. Now Curry had it hop over his stick, kicks it ahead, and Mulhern plays it right back around the board. Callaghan gets it to center, David Babbage there. Rolled right back in by Mulhern. Brett Callaghan was checked by LaCure, went off his skate. This is Yari Curry now, just dumping it up, looking for Gretzky. Gretzky in behind Dave Babbage, who sprawling with the stick, cleared it away. Good defensive play by Babbage, and back come the Jets. Dudley got it by Hicks, but couldn't catch up to it. Eddie Mio out of the net, leaving it there. Siltanen playing it around. Up for Gretzky. He just chopped at it. Jets checking a little tighter in the center ice area now. Here is Gretzky. Was stick handling, lost possession, and we have a whistle and a penalty coming up to the Jets. With the score, the Oilers 2 and Winnipeg 1. Our telecast returns in a moment.
Coming back, you'll see him to the right of your screen. He was beat on the play. Callaghan had a few steps on him, so he had to haul him down. 2-1 Oilers. Messier
lost the face-off. It was cleared down the ice. He was working against Christian. Now this is Paul Coffey, Oilers' first-round pick this year in the amateur draft. Up ahead to Glenn Anderson. Anderson trying to stick handle around Barry Long, forced him behind the net. Anderson tried to center it. It just went off the back of the Winnipeg goal. Anderson stole it back from Barry Long. Messier flipping it high and back in front as Coffey couldn't get to it. It's played back by Christian to center.
Now, Boris Lukowich, he will represent the Jets at the All-Star game this year, and by his own admission, he said he is not playing good hockey. He has slumped after a good start, and he said the guy that should be going is Christian, but I'll give it my best shot, but I have to improve my all-around play.
You know, there's all that talk these days of Terry Poole, the Houston Astros center fielder out of Melville, Saskatchewan, that's in town for a sportsman's dinner. As Messier's shot was kicked wide. Well, we'll get back to that in a minute. Messier to Blair McDonald's side of the net. He was checked there. Messier getting to it. Back to the line. Coffey's shot. He partially fanned on it. Goes over to the board area. Lukowich chops it out to center. That is Coffey with Christian trying to get to it. They go to the boards. Puck comes to Christian. Then back came Glenn Anderson to check him. Kevin Lowe watched by Lukowich. But back to Morris Lukowich. He used to play baseball, amateur ball with Terry Poole back in Saskatchewan. So not only a hockey player, but was a fine baseball player as well. As the puck comes to Lukowich at center. Just skates around, killing time. 40 seconds left in the penalty. Now here's a pass block. It's hard shot off Eddie Neal's glove. Then the post by Doug LeCure. Close chance. Callaghan over to Yari Curry. Now flipped over to this side. Hicks drive. And Hamel got a piece of that. A bullet-like slap shot. Oilers still in possession. Gretzky has it. Now deals off to Siltman. Score! That went off a leg.
Some good moves here by Gretzky, and once he had two Jet players converging on him, a little slip pass to the point man, which was Siltman, and he had plenty of time to unload it. Look at the traffic in front of the net. Callaghan was right there. He may have deflected it in the net, but it went off the goalpost.
Fred Callaghan from Risto Siltanen. 14-15 the time of it. Callaghan second of the night. Here is Callaghan. Just plays it back in behind his net. Doug Hicks with 5:30 left in the period up to Callaghan. 3-1 Oilers. His pass. Yari Curry lost it off his skates. And turning is LeCure for Rick Bowness. Back to LeCure off his stick off the glass. And the Oilers again in possession. Callaghan trying to thread the needle to Yari Curry. Oilers still toss it around as they get back on side. Silverman is shot, and Hamel booted that one out. Here is Wayne Gretzky. Tried to stick handle around Barry Leg, was bumped off balance, then lost it. It comes back to center. Hicks rolled it by Bowness. Gretzky was impeded by Barry Leg, and David Babbage has it. His pass too far for LeCure, and Lee Fogelin hustles it down. They'll face off in Winnipeg territory. Callaghan has two of the Oilers' 3 goals. McDonald has the other. Christian for the Jets. Face-off inside Winnipeg territory as the Jets speed out to center. That was DuPont, checked by Price. Now Fogelin got it around a charging Anders Steen along the boards. It comes to the blue line. Long kept it in play for Winnipeg. Then it was forced back by Pat Price. Going back is Richard Mulhern. Watched from behind and hounded a little bit by Matty Hagman. Pass came across to this side for Willie Lindstrom. He couldn't knock it down. Stan Weir then plays it for Lee Fogelin. He's being watched over on that side by Anders Steen. And Dave Lumley now brings it back out to center for the Oilers. Lumley got it in over the Winnipeg line, but again, they are in possession. They come right back. Willie Lindstrom on the right side. Pat Price coming back. And is Lindstrom being all tangled up by Dave Lumley. Got the puck to the side of the net. Off the stick of Anders Steen it came. But the Oilers again in possession. Price for Glenn Anderson. Oilers have outshot Winnipeg 11-4 with 3:45 left in this period and an offside.
Well, a good play by Dave Lumley coming back. You know, he's been having problems scoring goals this year, but he did come up to break a play up by the Jets.
Well, there's Willie Lindstrom, member of 3 Winnipeg Jets World Hockey Association championship teams.
Played with the Swedish national team, signed as a free agent. You know, Gretzky's 2 assists tonight, that gives him 68 assists for the year. The National Hockey League record, of course, is held by the great Bobby Orr with 102. So that's only 34 shy, and Gretzky certainly is within reach of that. And also now he's only 1 point behind Marcel Dion of the Kings.
Right, the Kings not playing tonight, so a good chance for Gretzky to overtake Dion this evening. Out-of-town scores, what do we have here tonight? Buffalo, solid lead over Detroit.
Well, Savard has 3 goals in that one, and Danny Gare. And his 2nd goal was his 30th of the year.
Spring got it up along the boards. Coffee shot went through a crowd, deflected just wide. Didn't look like he'd put as much on it as it actually had. Back come the Jets, though. Babbage couldn't hang on to that puck, and Dave Hunter then played it back. This is John Markle falling to the ice as Stan Weir made the play. Coffee for Weir now. Dave Hunter is cruising on the left side. Weir just shoots it in. Hunter goes after it. Dave Babbage there first with one hand on the stick. Got the puck up ahead. John Markle. Where's it at center? Dave Christian can't catch up to it. Hicks plays it back to the Winnipeg blue line. Spring off the board. Goes after it, and an offside on the Jets. Randy Mitten getting set to drop the puck. He was out of action for a month, 6 weeks with, was it a broken jaw, Gary?
Yes. I think what's become very apparent in this game is that the Oiler defense are challenging the Jets right around the center ice area. They're not even allowing them to cross center ice and have broken up many a play.
That's Risto Silton getting around Sullivan. The pass now for Hicks. He whizzed that just by Barry Long's ear. Leg to Long. Cuts back to get away from Glenn Anderson. Here is Leg. Up to Peter Sullivan. On that left side, checked by Risto Silton, and now McDonald up for Mark Messier. He goes after it. 1 man back. That is Barry Long, the only defenseman back, falling to his knees, forcing Messier to hang on to it. Then it's deflected out to center by Danny Jeffrion. Doug Hicks. Up for Messier. Now Blair McDonald. Checked from behind by Barry Legg. That took a bounce off Tim Trimper. Now here is Trimper. Pass to the boards by Kevin Lowe. McDonald. And Kevin Lowe tapping it back and forth. Now McDonald slows it down, goes back in behind the Oiler net. 1 minute and 50 seconds left in this period. Oiler captain merely plays it in. Hamel leaving it. Babbage is there. Gretzky, Callaghan, and Curry now on for the Oilers. Doug LeCure just gulps it into the Oilers zone. Kevin Lowe. For Callaghan, he is tapped along the boards. They try to pin it. It comes loose. Gretzky had swept it off the boards. Now Pat Price trying to play it for Yari Curry. Got it, but they claim he's offside.
Well, the strategy of LeCure was to try to harass Gretzky at every turn, just tap him on the wrist and try to get him off his game. But so far, Gretzky and the line of Curry and Callaghan have certainly been in control, and they're getting some good scoring chances. But what has happened is that the Oilers are able to break up the attack right at the center ice area and completely control the game from that point on.
Right, the Jets haven't had much to cheer about this period.
4 shots.
Only 1 minute 6 left in the first period. As Marco hands off to Christian, he is knocked off the puck by Pat Price. Callaghan, nice crisp pass as the Oilers toss it around. Curry couldn't find Gretzky. Now Babbage works over on his wrong side. Yari Curry bumped him off the puck. Curry starting to play it the Canadian way, isn't he? Pass up for Curry. It was knocked away at the last split second at center ice. That is Marco getting away from Gretzky. Just plays it in. Had Price on him.
Well, there's another example of Pat Price, instead of backing in over the blue line, allowing the Jets to come over, he challenged it, and he broke up another play.
Callaghan. Sorry, Gary. Lost control. Lake got it back out to center. There is an attempted pass for Willie Lindstrom. He couldn't contain it. He and Hicks ran into each other along the boards. The puck just sat there. Callaghan then gave it to Wayne Gretzky. He is knocked to the ice. Callaghan takes over. Off the skate of Curry, but play is called. Wayne Gretzky shaken up a mite, as you see.
Well, he got hit right in the knee. He was off balance when he took that check. Was it Lindstrom? And down he goes. And it took Gretzky a little while to get up. You can see that he's in pain. The hit was by Anders Steen, not Lindstrom.
Lindstrom and Doug Hicks were involved in something else just to the side of the Oiler net at the time. Only 2 seconds left in this period, and there it is. Clubs go to the locker room with the Oilers up by 2.
Well, the 11 shots by the Oilers, they had some good scoring chances. They capitalized them, but I think the big question now is Gretzky has left for the dressing room, and how serious of an injury is that hit to Wayne Gretzky?
Individual shots on goal. Point out in just a minute. Our next telecast coming up will be Sunday night, 7:30. The Calgary Flames will be here, and so will we.
The rivalry between the two cities continues. The fight for Alberta, and that should be a good one. The Calgary Flames are a struggling hockey club on the road. They're very effective at the corral, but on the road they're having their problems, and the Oilers will have to capitalize in this department.
Eddie Mio leads the Oilers back onto the ice for period number 2. The Jets still in the locker room. And elsewhere in the National Hockey League tonight, we have Buffalo well ahead of Detroit in the third.
Savard, the hat trick, Sauvé with 2, and Gare with 2. Foligno and Woods have scored for the Red Wings.
A tie down in Denver in the second period.
Lonsberry and Gardner, who continues to impress, have scored for Pittsburgh. McDonald and Develois.
Gary, we were talking earlier about how many points the Gretzky-Callaghan-Curry combo has come up with. In the last 22 games, since Brett Callaghan's return from that eye surgery, Callaghan has 15 goals, 17 assists, 32 points. Gretzky, 15 goals, 33 assists, 48 points. Curry, 10 goals, 11 assists, 21 points, and that totals up to 69, 101 points in 22 games for that trio.
We look at Marcus Matson. He was scheduled to start. He's involved in a collision with teammate Bonus and landed on his tailbone, so he was scratched from the starting duty tonight, and Pierre Hamel got the call. But if the Oilers are going to continue in their winning ways, I thought that first period was letter perfect. They challenged at the center ice area. They broke up many a play. But of course, the defense can only do that when they know that their wingers are doing their job against the Jet Wings, which they did effectively. When you only allow 4 shots, you know that you're played a heck of a period.
It would be interesting if we'd have had a running time on how much the Oilers had possession of the puck inside Winnipeg territory in that period. It's quite high. Wayne Gretzky is all right.
But we noticed there, Tim, in that first period, the Jets certainly didn't play with any intensity. Reminded us of the Oilers in Chicago.
Puck shot in. Hamel out of the net. This is Barry Long. Coming back across in front, feeds it up ahead. Morris, or at least Dave Christian, crosses the red line for number 23, John Markle. Into the corner they go. Price collided there, and back out comes Dave Hunter. With Lee Fogelin trailing. Hunter now goes to the boards, neatly dumps it back. There's a shot and a bouncing puck just wide as Brackenbury was looking for it. And it goes all the way back down into Oiler territory. Eddie Mio laying it up for Pat Price. Up forechecking was John Markle for the Jets. 2-line offside.
Well, that's the only thing that could get the Oilers in trouble is defensemen becoming too offensive-minded and the forward not covering up the play. Pat Price normally plays with Lee Fogelin. That provided solid defense, but again, your defense are only as good as the forwards coming back. It's an altogether different team that played in Chicago. I mean, they're treating that puck like it was worth $1 million. They're not giving it up, and that is very important for the Oilers.
Back to the live action. Puck comes into Winnipeg territory. Babbage slaps it back out. Now Coffey played it to Wayne Gretzky. Callaghan Callaghan quickly turns around, gives it to Yari Curry. Back to Callaghan, plays it to the corner. Babbage scoops it off the boards. It bounces back. LeCure beating it up. Bonus got it off the boards. Dudley trying to chase it. Ran into Yari Curry there. Then gave the puck away to Callaghan. He then lost it to Dudley. Dudley went flying, and the puck came to Mio. Kevin Lowe just worked it up along the boards. Back David Babbage at his own line. Off the right wing boards. That is Coffey. Now Callaghan. Just a minute or so, minute and a half into this second period. 3-1, Oilers leading. As Curry gives it to Wayne Gretzky. His shot. Amell a save. Curry setting up. Oh, a save by Amell as Yari Curry took a little longer to shoot than he normally does.
He had so much time, Tim. He just wanted to make sure on that play.
That is Gretzky trying to get it to Callaghan. Now low drive. And Amell just got a piece of that one. Now Babbage got around Curry. Fell to the ice, got the puck in behind the Oiler net. It bounces around over to the open side. Gretzky with Curry. Wayne Gretzky stepping in around number 15. Mullern, and down goes Hamel.
Now you saw Wayne Gretzky at his best. He didn't score, but what a move. You know, the Jets talked about how they have to challenge Gretzky at the blue line. Don't let him cross, but it didn't work this time. Now Gretzky waits for Hamel to go down, but then just can't raise the puck over the goal stick. Now watch the rebound that Hamel leaves here on a shot by Kevin Lowe. You know, that time, that wasn't the one I was referring to, but that was the good save by Hamel. But he has been leaving rebounds on the initial save.
Well, we were looking at that replay right off the face-off. A shot, Hamel had made the save, and then, as you see, we are now facing off again. And from the draw in behind the Winnipeg net, the Jets in possession. The puck goes off of Blair McDonald. Got to it, scooped it back to Risto Siltanen. Now Messier and Anderson throws it high off the glass. Hamel out of the net, works it up along this side. Dupont couldn't get Steen the pass. Now Anderson. His check. Hamel out of the net again. Works it off the boards. Hicks is there. Keeps it in play for the Oilers. Hamel worked it around Glenn Anderson, who was standing behind the net. That is McDonald doing some good work. Puck came back to center. Oilers have to get back on side. It was intercepted for a second by Willie Lindstrom. And they tossed it around at center, and a whistle on the play. They'll bring it back. A two-liner face-off will emerge inside the Oiler line. And a look at Doug Hicks. Of all the trade rumors we've heard this season, another one has popped up of late, and Doug Hicks' name comes into it. But of all the rumors we've heard, very little has ever happened. So
you've got to be careful who you trade. You know, not make any rash decisions. That's what Sather said. Right now he's not in a hurry to trade anybody. He's got the nucleus of a fine hockey club here, and he's going to stay with the kids.
Right. Played in by Spring. Oilers break it up again. Here is Anderson rushing down to the left side. Cuts back over onto this side. Now forced to the boards. Mark Messier just carries right on in the corner, being watched by Mullern. The pass to McDonald behind him and back down the ice. Risto Siltanen. Up 3.5 minutes have expired in the second period. Mark Messier walking in, and Hamel makes the save. Good chance for Messier, Barry Long. Getting the puck up. Out to center, carrying it for the Jets, Tim Trimper. Knocked off the puck by Lee Fogelin. Now Price. Up for Matty Hagman, who went under his stick. The Jets toss it around again. Barry Legg. Intercepted by Hagman. This is Price. Lost it to Danny Jeffrion. Now Legg gives it to Jeffrion again. Peter Sullivan dropping it back. Trimper's drive. Loose puck off the rebound. Fogelin had lost his stick in behind the Oiler net. Now rushes to the Oiler bench to get a new one. Very long, going back down behind his net.
That was real good reaction there by Eddie Mio. He was playing the shot to one side of the net. It changed direction, and he was able to slide out and make that save.
Trimper over for Jeffrion. That's Boom Boom's son. Jeffrion got it over to Sullivan. His shot. Mio the save, and Kevin Lowe drags a rebound to the side of the net, now to the corner. With Sullivan up for checking. Price to Hagman. Oilers lead 3-1. Matty Hagman Intended for Hunter. It came right back to Hagman. Now this is Hunter behind the net. Dave Lumley is standing next to the Jet net. Here's Hunter still walking in with it. His shot just wide of this open side. And it's picked up and fired down the ice by Morris Lukowich. Icing from the Northlands Coliseum. This is your Molson Hockey Telecast.
A elbowing penalty against Lukowich after he shot the puck down. There's no question about that call. But Lumley, 6 goals so far this year, trying to match his total of 20. Having trouble in that offensive department.
Markle, Sullivan, Lukowich, Christian, and Babbage on this Winnipeg power play. The Oilers have Stan Weir, Kurt Brackenbury, Doug Hicks, and Risto Siltanen killing the penalty. Lumley in the box. This is Sullivan. Forced to the outside. Released it. Here's Christian closing in. Score! In and out of the glove of Eddie Mayo as he fell.
Well, there's a good demonstration in why Christian is so valuable to this hockey club and perhaps their best all-around player. But let's watch what he does once he gets hold of the puck. It's like magic. He just hesitates, wait. Now look at Weir and Hicks both back up. Nobody takes a run at Christian and tries to challenge him, and they just back in, and so Christian just moves into that perfect position about 15, 20 feet out. Mayo did get a piece of it, but it slipped by, and a power play goal for the Jets.
Christian from Sullivan and Lukowich with Dave Lumley in the penalty box. 5:30 the time. So the Jets back in the hockey game. 3-2 the score. Lots of time left. Risto Siltanen in behind his net. Up forechecking is LeCure as he stands about 5 feet in front of the Oiler net. Hicks to Gretzky. Jari Kurri streaking, took the pass, it went off his stick, into the corner it goes. Spring. Up for Dudley. Rick Dudley, a veteran, checked from behind. Puck goes rolling into the corner. Bonus was nudged by Siltman, got it back, and went off Doug Hicks. Now Dudley in the circle with Callaghan trying to check him. Dudley forces it high and back over to the left point. There's a shot by Spring, knocked down by Siltman. Lead pass, Wayne Gretzky's got a break with Babbage behind him. Good defensive play by Babbage, but there will be
Penalty shot.
penalty shot.
Oh boy, here we go.
He tried it before, got away with it. Dave Babbage earlier, as you recall, did that, succeeded in the same kind of play to check Mark Messier at the time, and this time it didn't work.
All right, Tim, here's a little guessing game. What will Gretzky do? I will say he will pull him. He will try to pull Hamel on the deke. But there's Gretzky. Once the Oilers get the puck coming out of their own zone, right away they look for the breaking forward. Gretzky was home free. A good defensive play by Babbage, but it's going to result in a penalty shot. And that's the first ever here at Northlands Coliseum.
And there is Dave Babbage, thinking twice, no doubt.
Gretzky's talking to Gary Edwards right now. Probably, what is Hamel like on the shift? But you can bet that he will try the deke. He's one of the best at that. And this is worth the price of admission.
Don't get to see these too often.
Everybody is tense, the crowd, they're in anticipation of a goal.
Well, this, if Gretzky is successful in scoring this, that should tie with the other.
And here we go.
How dramatic. Oh! Pierre Hamel got an arm on it.
Now there's the look of disappointment on Wayne Gretzky, but he had Hamel beat. He went to the shift, but Gretzky has done that so many times where he's had the goalie beaten and then he's unable to get the puck in the air and lift it over that goalie stick. But let's watch him again. You know he's going to shift, and what a move he puts on here. Hamel, he freezes him. But let's give Hamel a lot of credit. But Tim, you notice that he had Hamel frozen. Exactly what he wanted to do. Get the goalie to make the first move just with that little shoulder drop. And down it goes, but all he had to do was flip it high, and it was a sure goal.
So it remains at 3-2. Here's Coffey a drive. And the save by Amell as Callaghan goes to the corner, trying to dig it out. Got it to Gretzky. Gretzky fires it back. Barry Legg is there. Lost it to Callaghan. Difficult angle. The puck in the crease, and down is Amell making the save. You're watching Friday Night Hockey live from the Northlands Coliseum.
That's a real lift.
Okay, Coffey. Now Curry. Callaghan in the slot. He shot it wide. Curry looking for the rebound. Callaghan slaps it over to Curry, and behind for Gretzky. Stops it with a skate. Poke check by Barry Long. Kevin Lowe keeping it deep. Gretzky trying to feed it out to Kevin Lowe. Gretzky still with it. Now to the circle, to the blue line. Kevin Lowe's drive through a crowd, and it's deflected just wide. Out in front to Curry. Couldn't get the shot away. His leg had his stick tied up. Curry, quick release, and he didn't get the great wood on it as Amell covers up.
Well, the Jets better do something about this line of Gretzky, Curry, or Callaghan. They are getting a lot of chances and controlling the game in the offensive zone, and if they don't start putting some checking against them, they will fill that net tonight. But again, the play behind the net, how important that is. You get to see everything in front of you, pick up your man. That time Callaghan fanned on the shot, but the chances are there.
Pierre Amell spent 4 years in the Central Hockey League. Was acquired in the '79 expansion draft from Toronto. From the draw inside the Jet zone, Babbage chasing after it. Curry forces him to play it back behind his net. Jets deep in their own zone, lost it again. The Oilers forechecking time and time again has come up with a puck. Here we go again. Jari Curry over to Gretzky. Slams it on, tried to get around Spring, then lost the puck. Callaghan is there to pick it up, though, as the Oilers just keep right on. Babbage and Callaghan now digging along the boards, and they draw that whistle.
Well, they're solid forechecking, but they're getting right on the Jets, and a frustrated Dave Babbage. I mean, this guy logs a lot of ice time. He'll play anywhere from 40 to 45 minutes, and he's got to be a tired player once the game is complete, because you know that the team spent a lot of time in the Jet zone.
Of course, brother Wayne, big star with the St. Louis Blues, controversially so, was not selected to the All-Star, either of the All-Star teams, or at least to the All-Star game. Lee Fogelin in behind the net. Now forced to the corner line this side. They poked for it. Anders Steen was there. Away comes Blair McDonald. Just flips it into the corner. Babbage is there. Got it around Mark Messier. Steen carries on, crosses the red line, fires it up. DuPont's shot just went wide of the net. That is back into the slot area. Up come the Oilers with it. McDonald got it to Messier. 2-on-2 with Anderson taking the pass now. Babbage forcing Anderson off the puck. Slapped it away from him. Messier there to take over again. Now Babbage takes him to the boards. That is Glenn Anderson now. Right in front. Score! Blair McDonald.
Beautiful play here by Glenn Anderson. Everybody thought he was going to go around the net and come out the other side, but he just dropped it in front of the short side. You notice Spring started to move away. He started to move to the right-hand side of the post, and McDonald was there all alone and had an easy time whipping that into the net.
McDonald from Anderson and Messier at 8:32.
That's a big goal for the Oilers to get that two-goal cushion again. So now we have two-goal scorers, Callaghan and Blair McDonald.
Blair McDonald off the boards to center. Messier poked it to the Winnipeg line. Barry Long is there. Long goes back and behind the net. Anderson up. And Blair McDonald. Messier now moves to the front of the net. Barry Long. Up ahead. Knocked off the puck and falling to the ice. Richard Mulhern, and a charging penalty to the Oilers. With the score, the Oilers 4, the Jets 2. Our telecast returns in a moment. So Fogle into the box, and the Jets with a power play. They trail by 2. 11:05 left in the second period. Winnipeg have only 6 shots on goal thus far as we approach the midway point of this game. Here is McDonald. Oilers are shorthanded. McDonald with 2 goals already. Plays it in behind the net. Babbage just lets it roll along the boards. Tipped back by Markle. Now on the board, Stan Weir knocked it loose. This is Babbage. Up to Morris Lukowicz. He just took a look, then threw it in. Doug Hicks plays it off the glass. Peter Sullivan just gives it to Babbage. Here's Babbage having it hop over his stick. Christian now, leading scorer for the Jets as a rookie. Drops it off to Lukowicz. Back to Christian. His shot, looking for the deflection. It went off Peter Sullivan's leg, and I think grazed the post as well.
It hit the goal post, and it was just sitting there, and the Jets were unable to corral that rebound. Neal girded in the corner.
Sullivan, backhand pass. Lukowicz overskated it. Now Christian to Lukowicz. Peter Sullivan. His shot blocked by Pat Price, and Weir has it. 50 seconds left in Lee Fogelin's penalty. ML out of the net. Dave Hunter up for checking for the Oilers. Decided to take a little shot at Christian. Markle digging it off the boards. Got it over Dave Hunter's stick. Now Christian starts up. 30 seconds left in the Winnipeg power play. Christian turns. Kevin Lowe forcing him back. Lukowicz lost it. Here comes Dave Hunter. Dropping it back. Mark Messier off the boards. In behind the net it goes. Markle plays it back. Lukowicz with 11 seconds left in this Winnipeg power play, which hasn't really looked like one. Willie Lindstrom now carrying it in. Nice check by Pat Price as Wayne Gretzky, and the penalty expires. Fogelin is on. Gretzky drops it back behind Fogelin it was. And the Jets again in possession, but they throw it away as Price plays it in. Oilers make a couple of player changes. Risto Silman came in off the bench. Yari Curry is on now. Anderson comes on. Barry Lang knocked the puck down. Couldn't play it around Yari Curry. Now centers it in the slot. Hard shot. And that was just high. DuPont let it go. Jets in close. Lindstrom's shot was knocked down by Siltanen, I believe. And back comes Glenn Anderson. Anderson working against Barry Long, and he couldn't put it by the veteran defenseman as he goes back and behind his net. Gretzky was looking for it. Siltanen deflected it. It bounces inside the Winnipeg blue line. Yari Curry back to Gretzky. Gretzky trying to feed it out in front. He did. And Barry Lang takes over for the Jets. 8 minutes and 8 seconds left in this second period. Here is Norm DuPont. Willie Lindstrom couldn't hang on to it as Anderson was bumping with him. And Curry sweeps it down the ice. And an icing call. This is Friday night NHL hockey.
And they are currently tied with the Boston Bruins for 9th place in the overall standings.
Right. From the draw, back to the line. Mulhern's shot deflecting off Dave Lumley. Trimper chops it around the back of the net. Fogelin tipping it up ahead. Dave Hunter on his wrong wing feeds it over to Dave Lumley, who's on his opposite side. Rolls it back in behind the net. Hunter with it, looking for someone to set it up in front to. Price was there, but it was intercepted. Fogelin knocked Trimper off the puck, but Sullivan carries right out. He scores! Peter Sullivan. And the Jets keep in pace.
Well, a good hit was wasted by Lee Fogelin. Watch this takeout right against the boards, but Sullivan will carry on. It looks like Eddie Neal is far too far to the right side of the post and leaves a lot of area for Sullivan to shoot at. But it was a knuckleball. You notice that one didn't have a lot of zip on it and may have fooled Neal. But Sullivan, his second goal of the year. And only 7 shots for the Jets, and they have scored 3 goals.
Sullivan for Mulhern and Trimper at 12:38. Here is Tim Trimper. Make the shot. Side of the net. Scores! Danny Jeffreyon was left all alone to the side of Eddie Mayo, and the Jets tie it. A couple of extremely quick goals. 12 seconds apart.
Well, it's a break here. A fake slap shot. And it looked like Messier had Jeffreyon all tied up, but somehow Jeffreyon got his stick on it. A good play by Trimper. He waits, and then just slides it over. And Jeffreyon's scoring slump has ended. He had gone 22 games without a goal. The piano is off his back.
Son of the Boomer. from Trimper and Spring, 12:50.
He wasn't moving, though.
So it is 4-4 with exactly 7 minutes left in this period. Danny Jeffrey on fake the shot, then lost the puck as Risto Sultan checked him nicely. Doug Hicks up for Blair McDonald across the red line with Messier and Anderson now with a puck. Anderson's shot, rebound. Oh, Hamel made the stop on McDonald, who was looking for the hat trick. Hicks to Siltanen by Mark Messier. Very long. Just turns back into his own zone. Oilers send on Yari Curry. Gretzky waiting to come on. Babbage from outside the Oilers zone took the shot. Eddie Mayo making the save. Gets a round of applause for that. Here comes Mark Messier now. He was checked by Babbage. Very long. Spent some years with the Jets back in the World Hockey Association. As Winnipeg brought it in, Dudley couldn't get the puck. Here is Gretzky. And now a hot save and a hot shot. This game coming to you from the Northlands Coliseum. 4-4 tie. Puck played into Oiler territory by LeCure. In the corner, Callaghan just goes in behind his net. 5:44 left in the second period. Yari Curry to Gretzky. Here is Wayne Gretzky. Almost checked by Bonus. Dudley managed to get it out of his zone. Lost it to Fogelin. Now Callaghan has it. For Lee Fogelin. Blasted around the boards. Gretzky in the corner. Callaghan's shot was high and rolls around the glass into the stands.
Well, another good opportunity for Callaghan. Just shot it wide, but that goal by the Jets tied a team record for the fastest 2 goals in 12 seconds. And it also established a record against the Oilers. The fastest 2 goals ever scored against the Oilers. 12 seconds.
Pretty fast.
Well put, Tim.
How profound of me. 5:21 left. 4-4 tie.
The Oilers don't want to get into a shooting contest here with the Jets. I mean, they suddenly started making mistakes and allowing those breaks against them, which they were so good at not or preventing in that first period.
Brad Callaghan was being watched by Bonus and LeCure. Managed to get it deep into the Jet zone. Back there is Donnie Spring. Managed to get it up to the line. Oilers keep it in. That was Price. And it was knocked down by Barry Legg. There's a shot by Bonus, blocked by Price as it bounces to this side. There's the shot. Loose puck as Callaghan came in and got the rebound. Bonus let that shot go. Here's Yari Curry from a tough angle. Now takes it behind the net. Gretzky to Curry off the boards. He's being muscled up along the boards there by LeCure. Now taken off the puck completely. Here's Callaghan. Kevin Lowe, head of the slot. Score!
It's the line of Gretzky, Callaghan, and Curry, but a good play by Callaghan to find that open man. And Lowe shot it through the screen at the forward coming at him. And it looked like, no, I don't think it did change direction at all, but Hamel just couldn't pick it up. Gretzky started it all behind the net in the pass to Callaghan, so that's 3 points for Gretzky now. The Oilers are once again take the lead.
And that ties Dion, doesn't it? For the NHL scoring lead. Here is Stan Weir, fake the shot, now took one and he fanned on it partially. Long has him against the boards. Little help from Christian, and there will be a face-off in Winnipeg territory with 4 minutes and 12 seconds left in the second period. Well, there is Stan Weir. Still negotiating a contract in his option year with Glenn Sather.
Now there's the shot from the point, a good low shot. Beats him out cleanly to the glove side, but boy, what a play by Brett Callaghan. On his backhand, finds Lowe, uncovered. You know, the tendency is to hurry up and throw it in the slot somewhere, but he had a look and spotted the open man, and it resulted in the goal.
Again, the Oilers in possession in the Jet zone. Kevin Lowe winding up, and that bounced off of Dave Hunter. Back comes Lukowicz, here is Christian in the circle, took a shot, off low it comes to Eddie Mio, and then he just merely hangs on, and they get the face-off. With 3:52 left to play in the second period, the score, Edmonton 5, Winnipeg 4.
Not into the cross-checking, so he'll sip the next couple of minutes. Another opportunity for the Jets on the power play.
Peter Sullivan, Boris Lukowicz, Markle, Babbage, and Christian on the power play for Winnipeg. As the Oilers get it out to center, the Jets have to get back on side. Boris Lukowicz, his pass went by everybody. Sullivan goes back. Peter Sullivan, 5'9", 170 pounds, blasted almost a stand. Weir was up forechecking for the Oilers. Christian deals it off to Babbage. Now Markle with a pass to Lukowicz. He had to reach back. The pass was behind him. Now here's Christian closing in. Backhand pass. Lukowicz with it. Weir watching him. The Oilers in that box. There's a shot. Mio the save. And the quick whistle.
Good play by Eddie Mio. The screen was set up in front of him. But the best way to prevent the deflection is get right up against the man so that if he does deflect it, it's right into the pads. Well, the Jets have scored 39 power play goals this year, and their leader in that department is Norm Dupont.
You know, Eddie Mio came to the Oilers with Wayne Gretzky and Peter Driscoll in that purchase from Nelson Scalvania just before the old Indianapolis Racers went under. All three of those players still with the Oilers. Babbage drive off Lukowicz, bounces off the glass. Markle has it. Price just sets back. There's a shot by Markle, and it went wide. Lee Fogela chopping at it. Christian kept it in. Sullivan. Stick handling, dumped it in front. Price deflected it, but Babbage keeps it in play for the Jets. Christian. To Sullivan, to Lukowicz, and it deflected wide. I think it might have gone off Mio's pad, and they tied up in the corner. And now let's go to Tim Spellacy.
Well, following the second period, we'll hear from Oilers Assistant General Manager Bruce McGregor, as well a look at tonight's highlights, and I'll be speaking to Jets rookie defenseman Don Spring. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you, Tim.
There's been a good power play here for the Jets. They've really moved that puck around and had some good scoring chances. But when they have time to make the plays, they can certainly do it. Any team can do it.
Anders Steen, top scorer in the Swedish Elite Division last year. Ex-junior teammate of Kent Nilsson of the Calgary Flames. Christian has it. Jets have 37 seconds left in the power play. Christian had it go off his thigh, and then Stan Weir backhands it out of trouble. There goes Dave Hunter after it. ML way out of the net. He played it over to Christian. And Christian now drops it back. The Jets with 2:11 left in this period and 18 seconds left in their power play. Lindstrom. Willie Lindstrom. Christian now. He takes a shot. Kevin Lowe stopped it. LeCure was looking for the, or at least Norm Dupont was looking for the puck. And the Oilers get it out to center. Going back is Willie Lindstrom. Oilers penalty is expired. And again, the Jets don't get much happening on the power play. Here comes Babbage. Passed it across. Gretzky just dumps it back to center. Barry leg back at his line. Off the boards. Gretzky gave it away to Norm Dupont. Willie Lindstrom. Now the Jets. Dudley couldn't contain it. The Jets have to come back to center. Kevin Lowe. Watched by LeCure. Gretzky gave it away again. LeCure shot, and it went wide. Gretzky's just been backhand passing at center.
Well, Dave Hunter was heading for the player's box for a change and wasn't expecting the pass. And that's why it was intercepted. But there you have it. The big three. Gretzky has moved into a tie with 3 assists tonight. And that's consistency. Dion and Gretzky ran 1-2 all year. They finally ended up in a tie. And when you can do that year after year, you're a complete hockey player.
Of course, the National Hockey League recognizes the most goals as being in a tie situation the technical leader, but both with 97 points. There you see Dion with a great edge in goals scored. But we still have a period plus here. Lots of time for Gretzky to move into sole possession at first. Jari Kurri trying to find it. He got it. Quick shot. Hamel was saved. Now Barry Long dished it out, but Callaghan forced it back to the boards against Rick Bowness. This is Gretzky. Tried to flip it back. It was knocked away by Leg. And the Jets again in possession, though. Handed away. Wayne Gretzky behind the net. Gretzky right in front. Jari Kurri couldn't get the good shot away. Vogelin to Gretzky. And then he was checked, lost it to Barry Long. Here is Dudley working over to that side. Now cuts back to the middle. Feeds it to the boards, gets to it, chops it back in behind the Oiler net. Pat Price has it. With Christian and Bowness both working on Price. That is Bowness that took Price off the puck. Lee Vogelin. Out to Gretzky. Here's a 2-on-1. Callaghan and Gretzky against Barry Long. Callaghan the pass. Hamel went down. Jari Kurri fired it over the wide open net. Loose puck with a bad angle. Hamel makes the save.
Woo! Now what tremendous goaltending by Mira Hamel. Because this line has been all over the Jets. And again, it's that good pass out from Lee Vogelin to Gretzky and Callaghan. Callaghan just not able to control it off his skate there and just shot it over. But Kurri comes back and then rifles it over the net. But you notice the Jets just scrambling. I mean, it's a desperation what the Oilers, this line is doing to them. And then finally, on the backhand, Hamel is able to cover up.
Well, somewhere the Jets have managed to come up with 12 shots with only 1 second remaining in the second period. And with that face-off, the siren howls, and that is the end of 40 minutes.
Well, Tim, it's a shootout. The Oilers don't want to get into that situation. They have to really concentrate on their checks and not allow those good scoring chances. The Jets are loose, and they'll take advantage as they did in that second period.
Thank you.
And in Kevin Lowe had given the Oilers a 5-4 lead from Callaghan and Gretzky at 15:32, and the third period is underway. Oilers leading by 1. Dave Hunter scores!
Well, that's a big goal for the Oilers and a big goal for Dave Hunter. Dave Hunter decided to do it all himself. He just picked the puck up in his own zone and lets the wrist shot go. Now there's a good example that it doesn't matter where you shoot the puck from or how hard it is or how soft it is. As long as it's on the net, it has a chance of going in. Let's look at it the way Hamel sees it. Tried to get it with his glove instead of getting his body in front of it, and the Oilers are up by 2.
Well, Hunter's hustled quite a bit in this game.
Tim, both goaltenders have assists tonight.
Yeah, Eddie Meehl got one of that goal. Price also an assist for the Oilers. That goal coming at the 14-second mark. 6-4 now in the first minute of play in this third period as they draw the whistle. I just want to point out, Gary, that in that second period, Wayne Gretzky had 5 shots on goal, and Jari Kurri had 4. Brett Callaghan a couple. So that line with 11 shots on goal that last period. Face-off inside the Jet zone. It's played back out to center by Morris Lukowicz. Hamel drops it off to Barry Long. Has Dave Hunter behind him. Ran into Brackenbury there. Brackenbury trying to get the puck out in front. Just muscling it up there with Barry Long. The puck came loose. Lukowicz has it. Markle. With John Markle as the Oilers take over again. Lee Vogelin blasts it around the board. Markle. And it bounced off of Christian. Wayne Gretzky with it. Gretzky tried to get it up to Jari Kurri. Barry Long played it away. Still inside the Jet zone, though, along the boards. Callaghan got it in behind the net. Stepping in to intercept was Don Spring. Now Markle along the boards against Doug Hicks. They dig for it. And whistle on the play. Face off to the right of Pierre Hamel.
Now when a player tries to freeze that puck against the boards, Doug Hicks was trying to just get out of the way, and if he doesn't move it at that time, then a penalty is called.
John Markle, the all-time leading scorer at Bowling Green University, was signed as a free agent by the Jets. He's 24 years old. Face off. And the Jets have control. Leg got it up to center. Brett Callaghan intercepted. Played it back. Risto Siltanen. Oilers have handled the puck an awful lot in this hockey game. Callaghan for Siltanen. Has to chase it back. Dudley was trying to break up the play. Shot in and over the glass into the stands.
Well, we have a final in the National Hockey League tonight. The Sabres continue on their winning ways. A 7-3 victory at home.
That'll move them into fourth ahead of Philadelphia, Gary.
And the Rockies and Pittsburgh Penguins are tied at 4. Thompson and Shepard have scored for Pittsburgh in the third. McDonald and Gillis.
Leg. Flipping into the Oilers zone. Here's Dudley, a break, and he couldn't get Wood on that shot. As it pinballs around in the Oilers zone, Risto Siltanen forces it up to center. Dudley is there. Plays it back for Babbage. Now Doug LeCure. Spun around by Siltanen. Dudley tried to get a shot away, and the Oilers bring it back. Here's a 2-2. Siltanen and Gretzky crossing outside the Winnipeg line. Risto Siltanen back for Brett Callaghan. And he overskated the puck, then was dropped to the ice. Jets out to center. Bonus. His shot weak. Mio steered that away. Dudley going after it along the boards. Gretzky manages to get it out to center. Then was tripped up from behind. The fans react. Nothing called. Barry Long. Laying it up. Babbage. Yari Curry gave it to Gretzky. Right in the crease, and Hamel just about had that roll under his skate. Close call. Kevin Lowe, his shot. Barry Long knocked it down. Anderson was looking for a backhand shot and fell down. Here's Paul Coffey winding up through a crowd of save by Hamel. Gretzky, as the Oilers continue with this pressure. And finally, Dave Babbage breaks it up and comes to center, a 3-on-2. Lindstrom tried to go around Coffey, then ran into him. In the corner, Kevin Lowe battling there. Came up with it against David Babbage. Now for the Jets, Anders Steen chasing Lowe. Lowe has to turn. Lindstrom playing up deep now. Came over to Coffey. He couldn't contain it. That is Steen. Still in behind. Got it into the crease. Mio chopped it back. And Lowe plays it out to center.
You know, Steen, he has a lot of upper body strength, and with that long reach makes him a very effective forechecker.
Kevin Lowe was trying to set Messier up, and it went under his stick. ML off the boards, out to center. Lindstrom. It's played in. Price. To Anderson, and in behind the net for Messier. He turned dangerously in front, but with a one-hand pass, got it to Anderson from outside the Jet zone. His shot wide. Messier overskates it. There's a Vogelin's shot. Anderson was looking for the deflection, deflected it, but wide. Jets get it into the Oilers zone. Vogelin, and an icing call on Winnipeg. The score, Edmonton 6, Winnipeg 4. This is your Molson hockey telecast. Oilers leading the Jets face-off to the right of Pierre Hamel.
Tim, it's important that the Oilers try to go after that next goal. Don't sit on that lead and allow the Jets to come at them, because we saw what happened in the second period. They don't want a repeat of that here.
On the draw, Jets. Geoffrion lost it to McDonald. He dumped it to the corner. Matty Hagman spun around back there by Don Spring. Hagman fishing it off the boards. Dropped it back, and it was too high. Leif Vogelin couldn't keep it in. Chasing it back, Pat Price. Geoffrion missed the puck. Mark Messier has it. Now Leif Vogelin had Trimper checking him. Tim Trimper had the puck. Lost it to Vogelin. Plays it in. Offside is Mark Messier.
Messier certainly has the speed and aggressive play, and as the years go on, he will just get better. I mean, one of his effective tools is the way he can change speeds and beat defensemen to the outside. He throws that puck ahead of him to the outside and crosses those legs over, and has beat a lot of defensemen that way.
Does he remind you of anyone, Gary, that you've seen over the years?
Well, think of it.
There's a shot by Siltanen, and it deflects and rolls to Hamel. 14:52 left in the hockey game. The Oilers with 31 shots on goal. The Jets with 13.
There's Barry Long. He was sold by the Detroit Red Wings. Spent 6 years in the World Hockey with Winnipeg and Edmonton. Now with the Jets.
Weir and Christian in the circle. Mitten drops a puck. Brackenbury was setting up for a shot, and as you saw, didn't get the wood on it. Back it comes to the Oiler line. Dave Hunter, who has played very well tonight for the Oilers with it, had Christian forward checking. Now Brackenbury plays it in, chases after it. Lukowicz comes up with it off the boards, and the Jets start back. Morris Lukowicz deals it off to Babbage. Babbage stops, backhand pass behind the net. Out in front it comes. Markle was looking for it, but Silton played it up to Dave Hunter. With Stan Weir, Hunter looks, turns. Back to Doug Hicks. His shot stopped in front of the net by Long. Markle shoveling it over to Lukowicz. Risto Silton forces him behind the net. Then he ties up Silton and there along the boards. In comes Markle and Weir, and they draw the whistle.
Well, Silton and Lukowicz, they've had some good battles. They've collided a few times tonight. Risto Silton continues to improve in his all-out play. One thing about him, you know, he can take chances in the offensive zone because he has the speed that when he gets caught, he can get back into his own zone in time.
Spends his off seasons in Finland, state of country. There's a shot on Mio, and he made the save. Letting that drive go for the Jets was Don Spring. 13:45 left in this game. Kevin Lowe had Dudley coming after it, feeds it deep. Here's Gretzky with a break. Gretzky walking into the middle. Score!
He didn't make a mistake that time, but it's amazing. Every time the Oiler defense gets the puck, Gretzky is heading out of the zone, anticipating that pass. This was the old alley-oop play. They say Gretzky can't skate. Well, watch that speed. But this time he waited. Again, he had Hamel down, but this time he flipped it into the net. So Gretzky, he didn't make the same mistake twice.
And he overtakes Marcel Dion for the NHL scoring lead, too.
And also 3 games in hand, remember.
Yep.
That's a big goal for the Oilers. 3-goal cushion.
That's Gretzky's 98th point. The way he's going, he might get his 100th tonight, too. Here's Gretzky stealing the puck. Out in front it goes. Curry. Oh, and banding on the shot is coming down. They score!
You're right, Tim. He's got it.
Well.
And
Just 14 seconds separating those 2 Gretzky goals. Here it is. Coffey fanning, and it went wide.
And again, Gretzky jolly on the spot. He deposits in the net. 100 points, and their fans are giving him a standing ovation.
I believe that's his 99th, isn't it, Gary? 30th goal.
That's his 100th point.
We'll do a quick addition there, and we'll confirm that for you. Puck bouncing in behind the net. Gretzky trying to fish it out against Babbage. He got it. Kept in by Kevin Lowe. Jets. Lindstrom couldn't get up to the pass. Callaghan interfered with him a bit. Now Coffey. Got it up the center. Here is Curry with Callaghan. Callaghan walking in. Hamel to save the rebound as Pierre Hamel leaps out and covers up. This is NHL hockey live from the Northlands Coliseum. Gretzky with 30 goals now in the season, 99 points. So that is official now.
Well, we were 1 ahead of the pace, but just watch for him to get number 100 before this night is over. That line has now accounted for 5 goals.
Wow. They're tough. Oilers with a 4-goal lead. 2 goals by Gretzky, fastest 2 ever by an Oiler player, 14 seconds apart. So Gretzky just keeps rolling along. Eddie Mio out of the net. Lindstrom came and turned him around. But the Oilers bring it back out of trouble. There's Pat Price will lead past Messier, though a 2-line offsider.
Well, that's been something that the Oilers have been very effective tonight, that When they're breaking out of their zone, they're heading for the holes, and the forwards or defensemen are hitting with a perfect pass. Brett's just getting a little watering down there after that second goal of the shift. What does he do for an encore? You know, you keep saying that every single season.
I have to wonder if he's ever going to have one of those 200-point seasons that no one has yet to touch.
You know, that may be possible with him.
Here is Lee Fogelin over to Pat Price. His pass intended for McDonald was deflected and then cleared in by Anderson. McDonald steals it for the Oilers. Messier in behind, tried to center it. It was scooped back by Amell. Now Anderson again with it in the corner. Plays it rink wide. And it went by everyone. The Jets bring it back to center ice. Willie Lindstrom with 12:06 left of the hockey game. His shot right on Mio. Fogelin up for McDonald. He turns to get away from Peter Sullivan. The pass behind Messier. Barry Long flips it up. Jets lose it again at the Oiler blue line. They just play giveaway at center ice. Here is Barry Long. Stepped around the defender, Pat Price. Now Jeffrey on from a bad angle. Shot it wide. Spring to Long. His shot wide. Now Blair McDonald off the skate of Mark Messier. Knocked to the ice was LeCure. Here comes McDonald for Mark Messier. His shot. And Amell got a toe on it. Kicked it up to the blue line. McDonald couldn't turn back. Brought back in by Spring. In around the boards it goes. Back out. And to center it goes as Hunter cleared it. "11 minutes and 6 seconds left in this game. The Jets trail by 4. We're down originally 3-1 after the first period. Tied it at 4-4 at one time. And Kevin Lowe, who now stands to have the winning goal if the Jets don't score again in this game. The Oilers lead at 8-4. Live from the Coliseum, the Edmonton Oilers and Winnipeg Jets.
Beautiful places. Wide open spaces. When it's this good, it's gotta be Canadian.
Now's the time for Canadian. Molson Canadian. It's your kind of beer.
24-year-old Morris Lukowich broke into the pros at Houston World Hockey Association, then joined the Jets and has been there ever since. Shot by Hicks after that face-off inside the Jet zone. Weir is pushed off the puck, and it goes right by Doug Hicks all the way back into Oiler territory. Risto Siltanen back there. Approaching the midway point of this third period. Weir dropping it back to Risto Siltanen. A little fin moving over on the right side. His hard shot as Amell made the save. Bouncing puck. Weir was trying to find it, and Amell gloved it with Kurt Brackenbury standing there.
Well, again, Risto Siltanen can shoot from anywhere and get the puck on the net. Now, there's a good example as we look at Kurt Brackenbury that you don't have to score a lot of goals to be effective. You know, if you're not a goal scorer, you can do other things to help your team. Kurtz is killing penalties, working hard along the boards, in the corners. Something like a Bob Kelly where he stirs up thing when the team isn't going that well. That's the job for Kurt.
Mulhern battling for the puck back there with Gretzky. Dave Lumley has it. Now Blair McDonald. Did I say Gretzky? That was actually Matty Hagman in behind the net. Hagman has it now. And play whistle down. They're going to face off back outside the Winnipeg line. And there is Matty Hagman.
You know, that situation also goes for Dave Lumley. You know, I don't think he's ever experienced anything that's happened to him this year after scoring 20 goals last year, but he can help the team in other ways besides scoring goals. He's a big guy out there, can rub the other players along the boards and be very effective in front of the net.
Coffey up for McDonald. It was too far. Babbage and McDonald in a race. Young Dave Babbage got there first. Now Mulhern plays it up, but not out. Kept in by Kevin Lowe. Then forced to center into the Oiler line by Lukowich. Paul Coffey being swiped at by Lukowich. Lumley got the pass over to Matty Hagman. He lost it to Babbage. Now McDonald back to the Oiler blue line. Paul Coffey has it. Crosses the center ice line. Plays it around the boards. Matty Hagman couldn't stop it. Jets throw it away out to center. Yari Curry had it for a split second. Now Dave Christian turns. Dave Christian, Jets leading scorer, just played it to the corner, then fell to the ice. Yari Curry got it away from Lukowicz. Here comes Matty Hagman at center. He's tied up from behind. Jets regain possession as Barry Lake flips it in off the boards, and the Jets make a line change. Brett Callaghan out at center was looking for Gretzky, who was cruising at the Winnipeg line. Dudley has it. Rick Dudley for Barry Lake. Now Bonus, ex-St. Louis Blue player. Lost it. Pat Price has it. Plays it right back in. Callaghan was upended by Bonus. The fans didn't like it. Kerry Fraser, the ref, didn't see it. Curry played it in behind the net. Gretzky let it go. Here is Callaghan. Back to Gretzky in the corner. He's being muscled. Callaghan has the puck. Brett Callaghan was checked by Lake. Now Curry. Back to Gretzky. Lee Fogelin, Gretzky, Curry having difficulty behind the net. The Jets come away with it. 8 minutes and 14 seconds left in this hockey game. And the Oilers in possession again. Price gave it to Yari Curry. We have a high sticking penalty coming up. With the score, Edmonton 8, the Jets 4. Our telecast returns in a moment. With us, good one. Of course, a week from tonight, we'll have a telecast here with the Quebec Nordique in town. Babbage carrying the puck for Winnipeg. P.J. McDonald came back to check Markle. Kevin Lowe played it to the corner. That is Lukowicz. Now Babbage being shoved around by Fogelin. Stan Weir took a man off the puck, and the Oilers played out to center. Comes to the open side.
Well, the Jets better be aware of Lee Fogelin, because he scored 3 shorthanded goals. Oh, spoke too soon. He just went off the ice for a rest.
Minute 26 left in the Jet power play. Pat Price in the box. Babbage ran into McDonald. Siltanen came up with a puck. Feeds it out to center. Yaramel up for Lukowicz. In behind his net. Drops it back. 8-4 Oilers. And an offside. Look at this scoring breakdown. Gretzky has 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points tonight. Callaghan 2 goals and an assist. Kevin Lowe has a goal and an assist. Siltanen and Anderson also have 2 points each tonight.
Well, we have the contingent from the Jets. They really haven't had that much to cheer about in this third period, but still loyal to their Winnipeg Jet Hockey Club.
Blair McDonald has a couple of goals tonight. We didn't mention BJ. 8-4. And the Jets had a lot of trouble winning hockey games this year. There is Hunter's shot. He has a goal earlier tonight. Amel covered up. Swept it away with a big glove. Barry Long. Back over to Mulhern. He flips it up. 32 seconds left in Price's penalty. Here's Lindstrom on a power play. Backhands it through the crease. Dave Lumley failed to clear it out. Setting up is Mulhern. That went off Doug Hicks. Must have stung a little bit. Hicks is staggering a touch. Dave Lumley a shot. That was knocked down by Mulhern, who fell. And Barry Long then plays it back to center. Lindstrom lead pass. Trying to work in, cutting around, backhand shot on Mia with Norm DuPont. And DuPont is shaken up. He hit the boards behind the Oiler net, and he is laying there.
DuPont, a good individual effort, had the shot on net, but then lost his balance. Watched the move and the backhand. He got tripped up by Lee Fogelin and goes crashing into the boards.
Live from the Northlands Coliseum, NHL Friday Night Hockey. And the back of Billy Sutherland as they wait the face-off just outside the Winnipeg line. 6:10 left in this hockey game. 8-4 Oilers. Lake played it up. Penalty is expired. That is Price. Tried to get it to Callaghan. Christian intercepted. Shot. Mio the save. Good split save by Eddie as Christian supplied the shot.
Well, Eddie had a rough couple of minutes there. Actually, it was 12 seconds in that second period, but Christian, who has been the best player for the Jets all night, lets go a bullet. Eddie Mio stretches out to make that save, but again, he's out challenging the shooter, not sitting back in the crease area.
Harry Curry over to Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky cutting into the slot. Score! 100 points.
Well, and we knew we'd get it before the end of the evening.
What a night.
Well, we talked to the coaching staff before the game, and we've got to stop Gretzky, and we have a chance of winning. The Jets did not stop Wayne Gretzky. 6 points, 3 and 3. Great playmaking there by Curry, headman the puck. And Gretzky, something he does so well is make his cut to the inside and then lets that slap shot go.
Harry Curry gets an assist on that, his third point of the night. Gretzky from Curry and Price, 14-18. Gretzky with 100 points on the season. First man to do that this year. And as we mentioned before, he has overtaken Marcel Dion for the National League scoring race. Markle dropping it back. Lukowicz still in control. Couldn't get around Lee Fogelman, but centered it. Mio slapped it back. This is Callaghan with Markle trying to body him. 9-4 Oilers. And you know they're going to be looking for those double figures as the Jets shoot it in. 5 minutes left. Just 17 shots by the Jets, but they've scored 4 times. Price flips it in. Then he and 2 or 3 other Oilers head back to the bench. They are replaced. Long shot. Mio easily handles that. Dumps it up for Blair McDonald. McDonald still carrying the puck. Dropping it back. Here's Paul Coffey walking in. Score!
Number 10. Paul Coffey getting in the act here. Hit some goals from the defenseman. But the wrist shot. And Hamel really dejected. But a good drop pass by Blair McDonald. Right through the 5-hole.
Coffey for McDonald and Mio. That's Eddie Mio's second assist of the hockey game. Everybody's in on the act. Coffey, a long drive. And it was wide. So 10-4, the Oilers leading it. Gretzky with a hat trick tonight. There's a chance. Close call. Right through the crease it goes. And there's a high sticking penalty coming up. With 4 minutes and 8 seconds left to play in the game, the score, Edmonton 10, Winnipeg 4.
Hey, John.
Just off the face-off at center ice, Mark Messier takes a pass and fires it wide. Off the boards, Babbage tried to play it over Glenn Anderson. He knocked it down with a glove. Here's Messier in the corner. Getting it back to Kevin Lowe. Now Paul Coffey, head of the circle. He fired it wide. Off the boards. And the Jets with Tim Tripper getting it up. Peter Sullivan had it caught up in Paul Coffey's skate. The Jets are offside.
Well, the 3-goal hat trick by Wayne Gretzky, which was a natural hat trick, scored 3 goals by himself, were the fastest ever Oiler hat trick by one player. 7 minutes and 55 seconds.
That is Danny Jeffrey on, 23-year-old, first-round pick of Montreal. Got in only 32 games with the Habs last year. He was traded to Quebec and then came to the Jets at the beginning of this year.
That's been a busy fellow. That's the goal, Judge. That red light has been going on quite a few times.
Kurt Brackenbury, lead pass. Dave Hunter on a break, walking in. Oh, and Emil Hopp robbed him that time. Puck came out to Weir, and he couldn't get a stick on it. Very close call as the Jets drag it back in. And an offside.
Well, a good play by Kurt Brackenbury. But the shot total certainly tells what's happened here tonight. 40. And a complete domination except for a spurt there in the second period by the Jets. It's been all Oilers. And the Jets really haven't thrown any checks. You know, you can't stop the Oilers by trying to stick check them. You have to take them physically. The Blackhawks did the other night, were successful.
Gretzky has 3, McDonald 2, Callaghan 2, Coffey, Lowe. Who else? And I guess that's it for the Oilers, but pretty good production here tonight. Out in front it comes Dave Hunter. His shot. He has a goal here tonight. Back to Hicks. In behind the net. Weir there. He's being tied up by Anders Steen. Now Brackenberg kicking at it against Don Spring. Hunter couldn't get his stick on the puck. Now Dave Hunter has it along the boards. Lost it. Aristo Siltman trying to keep it in play. Finally, the Jets poke it out to the center ice area. 10-4. That's Norm DuPont. Now Lindstrom's shot, and Mio gloves that with little problem. Number 99 has the puck. Faked the shot, tried to step around very long and lost possession. Winnipeg. Back to the center ice area. They trailed by 6, 2 minutes, 17 seconds left. Christian couldn't touch it. Shot by leg, and that was knocked away by Mio. Matty Hagman over to Dave Lumley. Still sitting there, and then it was poked out by Willie Lindstrom. Price over to Lumley. Now he banks it for Gretzky. Gretzky fakes a shot. Oh, still has it. Backhander, and that bounced off Lukowicz's leg. Very long. Back to center for the Jets. Lukowicz's shot deflected off of Price. Right through the crease it came. Lee Fogelin. And Lukowicz on one knee tried to give it to Christian. Christian has it again. His shot, and Mio gloves it. And the whistle with 1:26 left in the game. And now let's see what Tim Spellacy has to say about our post-game show.
Well, following tonight's game, we present overtime. This empty stool beside me will be occupied by our special guest, the coach of the Winnipeg Jets, Bill Sutherland. Right now, let's get back to third period action.
Lee Fogelin for hooking, 18:34 the time.
And only 1:26 left. It's kind of a difficult situation for Bill Sutherland to be on the spot after his team is being drubbed. There's the hook against Fogelin on Lukowicz.
So the Oilers, who coming into this game were 11th overall in the National Hockey League in offense, have likely moved a little bit higher than that now with 10 goals here tonight. 211 goals as a team thus far in the season now. Here's Mark Messier. McDonald a shot. And Emel a save. He clears it up for Lukowicz. Jet power play. There's a pass. That's Peter Sullivan trying to cut in around Risto Siltman. Now with it on this side. To the side of the net. Markle walking in. Mio the pad save. And with 1 minute left in the game, Mark Messier clears it down the ice.
Good move by Sullivan. Hasn't had a chance to play much this year, but he has been one of the brighter lights for the Jets.
Peter Sullivan with Blair McDonald catching up with the backhand shot. The rebound. Mio a couple of saves. Brings the Jets shot total up to 24 as the puck goes into the crowd with only 37 seconds left in the hockey game. And a look at Kevin Lowe. Outstanding young prospect of the Oilers. Last year a first-round pick.
Well, you know, the fans were getting on Eddie Mio a little bit in that second period, but he has responded ever since those 2 fast goals. Has shut the gate. Here are 2 outstanding saves against Peter Sullivan. The original shot and then the rebound.
Eddie Mio. His average just under 4. It's allowed 4 tonight. Puck comes out to center. Babbage has to go back for it. Dave Babbage. Jeffrey got it back to Babbage. Off the stick and up into the stand. So a face-off inside Winnipeg territory coming up. Just 23 seconds left. There's Tim Tripper. He was acquired in a trade from Chicago along with Doug LeCure. Peter Marsh was sent to the Hawks in that deal.
Well, the Oilers can stroke the first one off in the month of February at home. The Winnipeg Jets fall. Now you get ready for that game against the Calgary Flames and prepare yourself.
6-game homestand for the Oilers started tonight. So the Jets, who have had trouble tonight, carried into the Oilers zone. The pass was behind Jeffrey. Blair McDonald plays it.
Oilers now 43 points. That's the same total as the Maple Leafs and the same record as the Maple Leafs. And looking ahead in 13.
First star and the new NHL scoring leader, number 99, Wayne Gretzky. Tonight's second star, number 18, Brett Callaghan. And tonight's third star, number 7.
Over there for me, will you?